Alright, so I know I'm a little late to this, but there is a new banner coming out, which is Light Thetis and Dark Rivi. This is sort of like how should I put it? I guess this is me giving my piece, or sort of a little advice, because there is a lot of stuff that's about to start changing very, very soon, very quickly. This is an easy, probably the easiest skip, because in probably possibly a month or even less, Work on Fen is being released. So I don't think people should summon on this. These are GS characters, so they're going to, you know, come back or and eventually end up in the Forever Summon. So I really think that you skip. Uh, I would. I'm not. It's not to say that these units are bad. I think like Thetis is kind of whatever. I never see him ever used on like a top tier JP team. I've like never seen him ever on a single comp. I think the only gameplay footage I've ever seen of him was his trailer that came out. That's like the only time I've ever actually seen him in action. You probably aren't ever going to really use this guy. He does get the crit rate, the 150% up. It's kind of honestly whatever. I feel like he should have just had the 100% crit rate at all times, and then for his unlimited Magia Drive, he gets like 150% critical damage. That would have made him way better and probably used way more often than he is, because I never see him being used. Dark Rivi is a bit different. Her ability, Cry of the Blood, probably honestly probably one of the more broken abilities that they've ever like put on a unit. She is Type B, which kind of sucks, but like it's honestly whatever, because she can even work with Type B Archdinners, because this right here, the Cry of the Blood, is EX2. It stacks with everything except itself. So the fact that she can still see uses even with another Type B Archdinner like Juno, have seen combos where people have used those two together, and it looks pretty strong. So she's definitely good, but she's not worth it. So, and of course there's Leon and Rosetta. Leon is and Rosetta, she can still be pretty decent. She can put in work, but try to put this in perspective. Thetis is obviously a critical damage dealer. He deals a lot of damage. He has his attack of Arcage on skill, of course the critical rate, and Dark Rivi is an Archgener who's, she's doing a lot for the team, but so is War God Fen. And the difference between obviously these guys and him is that he's able to do basically everything that these two can do. He can Archgen, he can deal insane amounts of damage, like insane levels of damage, and he's just able to do just so much more for the team, because he's not just an Archgener and a damage dealer. He's increasing accuracy, equipment CT speed. His slots are amazing. So I highly think that he, by far, is one of the more sort of a much higher priority than these two. Another thing to keep in mind is that as soon as they start releasing Super Woken units, they're gonna release Overlord. So within like the first month of War God Fen being out, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, "Oh, surprise, Overlord is here." Or so, don't. Oh, sorry, Overlord is here. So don't use your crystals here. This is just sort of I don't want to say bait, but yeah, no, I do want to say bait. It is a bait. Don't do it. Just don't. It's not worth it. It really isn't, because they're gonna be back. Even if they were like insanely good, like, or a lot better. Not really Rosetta. I mean, sorry, Rivi, Thetis. Even if he was like a lot better, again, it just wouldn't. It never would be worth it in this day and age. So definitely keep an eye out, because Super Woken units are going to be dropping, and with Global keeping up this kind of schedule, they're going to be dropping a lot more often. And I mean, not a lot more often, but they're going to be dropping like really quickly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they, 1 week War God Fen comes out, a few weeks later Overlord comes out, a few weeks later Kirisame comes out, and then they just start going on from there. And these units are all really, really good. So you want to say for them rather than use your crystals here. So again, this can apply to anyone, whether you're veteran, free to play, anything like that. Just don't use your crystals here. For the love of God, please do not. It's just not worth it, especially since they're gonna be back. So, yeah, don't. Another thing I was actually gonna do is I was going to show a compendium farm that I've been doing. Uh, it's not necessary. Okay, I'll explain it in just a second. All right, so right here, I'm just gonna use Celia here as an example because okay, to say hardly ever used this unit is a bit of an understatement. No, I have never used this unit. So to farm compendium, of course, you got to complete quests, and for doing that, each unit can give you 3 crystals. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is, because well, okay, no, it's not a lot, but with the way you can farm compendium, you can really get the most out of several units, actually up to 8 units at a time with this sort of strat right here. All right, so right here we're gonna go into training, and we're gonna go into the cross battle. Now, I don't really recommend this if you're like just starting out, like you're brand new to the game, because there are other things that you can do. I'm recommending this for like mostly veterans, or players that are not really like veterans, but they're getting there. Like their account is, they're probably around like rank like 100. They're just getting into like the harder content of what GS has to offer. So right now they do have the fairy tale going on and the ninja saga, but should you happen to have extra time that you're not really grinding those events, you could grind quest clears. So, and this is definitely energy efficient because it only costs 1 energy to do it. So this is probably honestly the best way, or at least one of the best ways to farm quest clears, so you can max out your units. So let me just see, Mirror Neon, yeah. Let me just check this real quick. So yeah, she's at 846 clears. So you don't have to get up to 2,000, because you only get the last crest at 1,000. Last crystal at 1,000 quests. But if you want to go for the lucky gem, you can. It's just 2,000, or yeah, 2,000 quests. So what you do is, of course, you grind this for 1,000 quests, and then you're done. You can move on to the next unit. The thing about cross battle though is that you can use right here, but I have here an actual like nuking team to defeat the boss, and all of these units also get the clear. So it's basically just getting 2 teams the quest clear for the price of just 1 team, 1 clear. That's all you need to do, rather than do the same quest over and over and over again, and drive yourself crazy. But of course, it takes 1 energy. You can leave this on loop. I've done it many times where I've just left it on loop. It doesn't use any sort of potions. I can still put all of that energy towards crest farming. So because it's so cheap, it's just a really good way of farming these clears. So I'm gonna let it play right here. I think I left auto on, or AI on, but you can just do this, and then older units, they're who can't really deal enough damage to actually like kill this boss. This boss isn't necessarily like really difficult, but it is a bit tough. Like you do need like a proper nuke team in order to like take him down. So for older units like these up here, who would struggle to do that, they can just get the clear for free. So you don't have to put in so much effort into trying to make like a regular nuke team work, and then just throw these guys, or try to fit one of these characters onto the actual like team comp. They can just sit on the back seat and just get all the XP and credit for that clear. So it's a really good way to farm those, because every 1 energy you put, you get a quest clear. So after about like a week or so, I've already gotten quite a lot of clears done. I actually think just recently I finally got Hal to 2,000. I pushed for that because he was already close to getting there, so he should be either a little above 2,000, or yep, 2,094. So again, you don't need like some top tier, like insane, nuke team that's gonna deal like 10 trillion damage. This team, as you saw, works pretty damn well. Equips, again, you can just kind of go crazy. It doesn't really matter. Just anything that's gonna help you just take him down or take the boss down as quickly as possible. You could also even use or just like spam food. Like I know people have thousands of food here that they're never gonna completely use up, considering you get so much food from doing regular quests anyway. So if you need, if you have some missions where you gotta use food, use it. Like it's here. So yeah, that's kind of it. I just want to say, people, seriously, just grind as many crystals as you possibly can. So that way, as soon as these super awakenings come out, you're not left in the dust, because these guys, from what I've seen, they just change the playing field completely with what units like Fen, Kirisame, the units in the Overlord crossover, like they are insane. So definitely keep in mind out or keep an eye out for them. Don't worry too much about the recent units that are coming out. Also, that goes the same for Valerie. Valerie is a good water damage dealer, but again, she's a damage dealer. That is something that Fen is as well, except he's doing a lot more than what Valerie's doing. She's just buffing water damage to like through the roof. So again, those are units that aren't as high priority. So just save your crystal, because you never know what Global's gonna do. Global right now, they're completely like off the rails in terms of like scheduling. So they could just throw a curveball at us, and the people are just at that point all you can do is just throw your hands up, and you're screwed. So just try to prevent that from happening. Don't summon on these banners. It may seem tempting, but that's the point of it. It's just bait. They're just trying to get you to use your crystals now, so when War God Fen comes out, you're not ready for it. So of course, grind these as well. There's new stories coming out, so you should definitely grind that, because that's just more crystals. You get caught up on the story, whatever. But if you find yourself lacking in things to do and you need a way to get crystals, this is the way to go. It can be a bit tedious, but again, with a good team, you could just set it on auto for like 30 clears, and then just let it run in the background. Like you don't have to actually like monitor it. So again, it's just a really good way to get those crystals, because those crystals are sitting there. Rather than have them sitting there in your achievement box, why not just, get the clears, get the crystals, call it a day. So that's sort of like my piece on it. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm probably going to post a video about how many crystals I get within like a week's worth of grinding. I've already I haven't been grinding for a whole week yet, but I've been grinding for quite a few days. And in those few days, I was able to... Who was the other unit that I got to like over 1,000? Was it you? It was Millennia. Right, I remember. I was using Millennia for crit damage. Yeah, I just got her over 1,056 to get the 1,000 crystals. So I'll have that video. I'll probably record that and then just show the crazy difference that it makes, because the quest is really quick. So you'll see those 30 clears go right on by, and you've got loads of energy to keep using it or to keep playing this quest. So I definitely recommend, if you're short on crystals and you just need a quick way to get as many as you can before he arrives, this is the way to do it. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.